Good afternoon, anti-novelists and friends. Let's see, we've got sick kitty asleep, half asleep on the desk. She's got bronchitis and she's having a very tough day, so she gets to sleep on the desk. So, what I wanted to do today, since this is Sunday, this is the beginning of a new week, I want to take you through how I begin processing some of my experience collection cards. Now, if you've seen the video about experience collecting and that set of cards, you know that that just means cards that I collect throughout my day. They are exactly what they sound like. I could witness something wacky happening in a car that's driving next to me, and I think, ooh, hey, that could be something cool, so I jot it down. I hear a bit of conversation, that's going to go in my dialogue cards, but nonetheless, it's still a collection of experience. I could think of something, like maybe I have a memory from when I was a kid. In 1975, a tornado ripped through the Ruskin Heights area. As a child, I lived in Martin City at the time, and the tornado went right over the house. But that is a story for another time. I think that will probably end up in my newsletter, so there's a little tease there. So yeah, experience collection can be anything that you collect that you think might be useful for whatever you're working on when you're writing. So let's look at these and I'll walk you through them. This card, you can see it's swiped with pink, so I know at a glance that this is a card that's relevant to Tara, my main female character in my novel. So the first thing that I would do is I would pull my index. I would go to T for Tara, and I'm going to see that Tara's cards are filed under the number 7110. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to tag this card 7110 so that I know at minimum it's going to land in Tara's character cards. Now, this little snippet that I'm referring to is an idea for a scene. I got this idea a really long time ago, like a couple of years ago, and jotted it down, and it's just kind of been floating around. Of course, then I got my Zettelkasten in order, and now I know where things go, and this card is still just kind of floating around. So I need to put it in the note box. But let's see what it says. The first line says, the work boot crunch of loose gravel. Okay, so that's something that you hear, it's a sensory moment in time. And you'll see that I have crossed that out. At some point in time, I've edited this card and I've changed it to the crunch of loose gravel under work boots. And then I've added, told Tara that Jet was coming up the driveway. Okay, so this little snippet of a thought was captured on a card, color-coded to Tara, and then later became what will be a sentence in whatever scene I use this in. The crunch of loose gravel under work boots told Tara that Jet was coming up the driveway. Okay? So see how that workflow works? You just capture the thing. Literally, this could have just been loose gravel, or it could have been stomping work boot. I mean, anything that you can grab onto to capture that thought, to capture that experience, stick it on a card. Stick it in your story cards, your experience collection, your general Dropbox for things that you might use in scenes later, and then bingo. When you're ready to process it, pull it out, maybe work it into something, and then I think what I'm going to do with this one is it is going to go over there on my stand-up desk, which, if you recall, is over in the corner. And I'm going to use this in a scene that is coming up, I do believe. So I think I literally just solved that problem in real time. So, viva la Zettelkasten. Let's look at another one. This one is a mess. Okay, so this says, to what end did the character produce reality or a situation? So I'm asking myself a question about character motivation here. And it could be from a teaching standpoint, or it could be from a character consideration standpoint. So at this point, I'm not sure why I made that observation, but it's one of the two. Now I've added words with specific / alternate meaning, fascinating subtlety, and the writer's mastery of use. Common terms versus the technical usage, and I put at character traits. So I'm making a reference here to the author Kathleen Spracklin, who wrote Writing with Emotion and broke down the character traits, because she talks about the character traits in technical terms rather than just the common understanding of a term of something like, say, loyalty. So clearly, now that I've looked at the context of it, I'm talking to myself about how characters produce their reality or their situation and what that might look like. And then I have a final note that says character misbelief over, I will send $1 to anybody who can tell me what that word is. Over, absolutely no idea. So yeah, sometimes you get notes you can't read, which bonus, right? So clearly this is in reference to characters and character traits, which I'm going to go to C in my little journal, or excuse me, in my index. And I'm going to notice that character traits are under (1890.5). 1890.5. And then I will go in later and assign that whatever extra, like if it's a /3 or /10 or whatever number of card this one is. But at least this gets it oriented into the box. So that's 2 really good examples of how you take those just little bits and pieces of things that you collect. Maybe they have direct relevance to the book that you're writing. They have direct relevance to a character or to a scene. Or maybe it's just random theory and you're thinking out loud, what does this character action mean? Or how do I want to portray this character, right? It's just a theory kind of question. Either way, that's how you go through, rely on your index for the numbering, and get those cards assigned to where they belong. So that is it for today's installment. I am cruising right along on the Zettelkasten for Fiction Writer's book. I'm very pleased with the progress. Today was a slow day because I was cleaning off the front porch because we're going to get some cold weather. And I think I pulled something in my back. So today was kind of a slow writing day, but I did get a wee bit done. So it's 4 o'clock here on the cattle ranch in the Midwest. I've got time for 2 sprints. So I'm just going to go over to the stand-up desk. I'm going to hunker down, pound it out, and just get a couple of sprints in so that I can settle down for the evening, knowing that I got my writing done. With that, I will leave you. As always, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you all tomorrow.